Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Danger. Hey, I want to talk to everybody. Yesterday we had Joe Biden coming out with some stuff against the Second Amendment that some people were pretty upset about. It's about the pistol braces, 3D printing machines, ghost guns, things of that nature. Uh, those are all fine and dandy, but down the road there's going to be a lot of other things that are going to be coming out. And one of the big things is you've got people out here who are preppers, things of that nature, and that's fine. But a lot of times you're telegraphing what you're doing. I like to think if you're going to do anything of that nature, you kind of want to be the gray man. You kind of want to understand what you're doing and how you're preparing your family. Right now, we've got the food shortages that are coming through. If you've been to the stores, you notice certain items sometimes are short. Sometimes they'll come in, but then, or they're just not there, period. So one of the things I'm going to talk about, and it's one of the most important things just to start off my podcast, is you've got to get out there and on your digital phone. So I've got my cell phone here. And then, of course, I'm here on a computer. You've got to lock down your digital persona. And you also have to protect yourself because right now you're a product. But in the as we move on forward, you're going to be more than a product. You're going to be basically identified, tagged, no matter where you go. All right. And that happens with your photos, with your geo tags, on those, with your geolocation on your phone. If you do anything or say anything, and that seems to be the way we're going, because freedom of speech is really pretty much going out the window with cancel culture. Everybody says we have freedom of speech, but if you exercise it, then you're either ridiculed or shamed. So I'm going to go into some stuff on the digital front to kick this off. I hope you guys, give me some feedback. This isn't all inclusive, but I want to give you ideas on things you need to start doing for yourself and more importantly for your family and especially your children. And I'm going to explain some reasons why. So one of the first things we're going to do is go into your mobile device. So if you have a mobile device and, a lot of people have iPhones, they have a Google based or an Android based phone. What you need to do is get off using the basics of their services, such as using Google search or using different applications such as Apple's Safari. If you use, even if you use Dropbox or the clouds, and we'll get into the iCloud and cloud-based services in a minute. But on your phone, what you want to do is you want to download services such as Brave or DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo, I know I've used that quite a bit. It will actually show you on your mobile device when you go to search for something on the internet, it will actually show you the services that it's blocking. So for example, on mine, it'll show me if Google's trying to access my information, if Apple's trying to access the information, and it will actually block them. And you can actually go in and do personal settings in there. And it'll also do that. There's also for example, DuckDuckGo has an extension for Chrome. It will actually block that. And I'm going to show you guys that here on my computer as I go to search something that I've already searched. I'm just going to pull it up and show you basically what was blocked. But these are very important things you need to do for yourselves and for your families because your personal information has made you a product. Now, let's go a little deeper before I get into that. Personal information, myself, I was in the military for a long time. A lot of us ended up receiving letters from the Office of Personnel Management. And the Office of Personnel Management held everybody's security clearances. That didn't just hold my information, that held my family's, my wife's families, everybody. It went back probably 70 years in history on where those people had been, where I had been, any extraneous travel, such as vacations, things like that out of the country. And they wanted to know all that information. Not only did they want to know that information, they want to know those people's social security numbers. In addition, if I had kids, how old are my kids? What was all their information? Now, they were toddlers at the time, but one of the things that's come up in discussions with a couple of the gentlemen I served with in special operations doing communication support for special operators was a lot of this information is actually going to be used not so much against us maybe in 10 years, but it was going to be used against our children down the road. All their information's out there. And as we see with social media with the children, they're basically doing what? They're getting online and they're basically putting themselves at risk. They don't know that yet. And 20 years from now, something they say on TikTok, or maybe they do something on Twitter, or they were on what's the new thing for kids? I think it's Steam, and there's a few others out there. Twitch, there you go. I was kind of getting a little tongue-tied there. But these apps, all this information is kept. All these broadcasts, everything that's done, all this information is kept and put in a data center somewhere. This could actually be something that could be brought back against them, 10, 20, 30 years from now, and be tried to use as maybe they're racist, maybe they made a funny comment, maybe, and now at that time in the future, it's not looked upon that way because of the cancel culture and the kind of the direction, not just the United States is going, but the rest of the world. So these are some things that we need to think about. So I'm going to go into some stuff right here. I want to, kind of go over, number one, let's talk about the iCloud. All right. I'm not going to show you, but if you have a phone, a lot of times they'll ask you, do you want to have a service? Most iPhones, if you're an Apple, sometimes Androids, they'll give you a certain amount of space, maybe up to like 5 gigs of free space. That's to entice you to store your stuff. It's not normally kept on your mobile device, but it's kept at a separate location. And anytime you want to access it, you just click on it and it actually will pull it through a Wi-Fi link if you're in a restaurant, or maybe even through a cellular network. Now, on your computer, a lot of times people get a lot of information, and if you're downloading stuff, and what they want to do is what? They want to keep taking pictures. We're in the selfie mode society where everybody wants to take a lot of pictures. They want to show everybody where they're at. Facebook is one of the worst, where everybody wants to share everything from what they had for dinner to what they're drinking for beer. Well, all those photos take up a lot of space. So all that stuff gets loaded. So what they do is they entice you to buy a package of space to get more storage space. The more storage space you have, the more photos you can keep, right? Well, everybody wants to do that. Everybody's buying these packages. The thing you need to understand is these cloud-based services, that information, you have basically signed terms and conditions. Those terms and conditions mean they also have rights to that information for data analytics. That data analytics right now is making you a product. That's why if you don't have your microphone turned off on your phone, because a lot of these services want access to your microphone. They're doing haptics, which is your voice haptics, and they're basically hearing you. They recognize your voice, and they're doing what? They're giving you the ads and the services of things you're searching for. So you might say something and you're talking about it over breakfast. You haven't searched for it physically on your phone or your laptop or your desktop, but then you get that information. That information is now turning into where it's going to become a social score. And I'm going to go into that a little bit also. So now the iCloud, one of the things I always recommend is get off any type of, and I don't want to just say the iCloud, it's any cloud-based services, because cloud-based services, there's no such thing as a cloud. It's actually a data center somewhere where all your information is at. Anybody with nefarious means can get access to that information. Facebook, let's talk about them. They just lost 533 million users' data in 2019, but for some reason, no one knew about it. And it's all for sale now on the dark web and out in the open. So think about those things. All your information, and a lot of people they basically put their whole family history on there. I don't know about you, but that's extremely chilling. So one of the things I'm going to do here, I'm going to pull this up. And I'm going to show you this right here. So here's my browser. We're up. Let's go to DuckDuckGo. And where is it? This is a hard drive that I want to show everybody. It's called Easy Store. It's at Best Buy. But this is just one I pulled up. It's a 2 terabyte external hard drive. This should be able to hold all your family's personal information, unless you take 100 pictures a day and you're just going absolutely crazy. But this type of information, though, what you do is whenever you want to download your stuff, you download it all the time. You don't keep it on your phone, but you always keep it. If you want to access it, you can access it anytime you want. Now, moving on, let's go to DuckDuckGo. This is on my laptop. As you can see, tired of being tracked online, we can help. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull, and I'm going to show you manage or hit the extensions button. I'm going to hit DuckDuckGo, and what's it pull up? Encrypted communication, 0 trackers found. But if I come over here, where I'm on another site, it will show you 0 trackers. Let's go to Best Buy. I use DuckDuckGo. 5 trackers were blocked. And that was because it was external and it was going outside of DuckDuckGo. So the 5 trackers blocked: Inciting, Criteo, Integral Ad Science, Google, and Adobe. Adobe because I have Adobe on my computer. So these are some of the things you need to think about. I highly recommend downloading the DuckDuckGo browser extension or downloading Brave. And that's another not extension, but it's another browser, and you can download that. But both of these are basically good browsers to use, where they will cut down on making you a product, and of course, in the future when everything gets into a social credit score. So let's talk about the social credit score. And I'm going to move this out of the way so you guys can see that. Social credit score right now, and this is from Business Insider. And what it does, it ranks everybody. This was done like a year and a half ago, and that's why I pulled it up, but it shows you where they're at. And basically, right here, people can be rewarded or punished according to your score. Now, when you think about this, one of the worst things about this is we're actually going to get to a point where your credit score will be actually used to see if, hey, maybe you're buying a little too much beer at the grocery store. Hey, did you buy a can of dip? Maybe you're one of those guys that likes to have some dip. Maybe you bought some cigars. Hey, how many cigars did you have this month? These are the type of things, if it gets to that point, and definitely the way we're going now is where I see us head, because nothing's stopping the technocratic personnel out there from going on with these plans of basically ranking everybody. One of the other things people need to think about is not only this, but in China, they're also using facial recognition trash cans to see what you're putting in there to make sure you're not throwing away too much food. Now think about this. Facial recognition, and they'll be able to determine if you're throwing away too much food. We're basically at a point where if you really look at the way things have gone in the world the last few years, we're basically at a point where China and some of these other countries are test beds. China has definitely been a test bed for a while. What's ended up happening is we're now getting to a point where there's certain areas in every country, if you noticed, where there's more severe restrictions and lockdowns on everybody. And if people don't wake up and understand what's coming, that's just to test how that local population, that culture is reacting to it. And then everybody's reacting and moving according to, okay, now we need to move this way, we need to move this way to get them to coerce you into doing what they want you to do. So these are some of the things that people need to think about. You need to start cleaning up what you're doing online and using the browsers and the things you can now for your purchases and for the things you're looking up that are making you a product. But not only that, but eventually going to become a victim. So that's all I've got for this episode right now. A little tongue-tied a couple times, but hey, I hope you guys enjoy the show. If you like it, please click subscribe and share it if you get a chance. And next couple episodes, we're going to be going over socioeconomic and some strategic things that are happening right now. So I'll look at what's going on a day-to-day basis, but I'm going to look and give you kind of more of a strategic outlook on things that are going on. and we're just going to play out in the future. Anyways, you guys take care and have a great weekend.